Welcome to History's Remnants, where we visit antique and resale stores looking for history and oddities. Today we are visiting East State Antique Mall in Rockford, Illinois. And remember, if you enjoyed today's video, please give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment.
Now put on some Judy Garland or Doris Day, dress up in your steppin' out clothes and best feathered cap, and buckle up for a trip down memory lane. Mary Elizabeth Braden has a story fit for a soap opera. She was born in London in 1835 as one of 3 children. Her mother left her father due to his infidelities, so she was raised by a single mother. She was given a good education, and her creativity flourished when her godfather gave her a writing desk. When she was 17, she began to act in the theater under the stage name Mary Seton. Her popularity on stage was short-lived, and she transitioned to writing. Under the pen name M.E. Braden, she became a defining author of the sensational genre, a genre that used shocking subjects like adultery and murder in a realistic way. Her most popular book has been Lady Audley's Secret, the story of a young woman who has murdered her husband. Braden herself led an unorthodox life, moving in with an already married man, Maxwell, and becoming the stepmother to his children, as well as having 6 more of her own. While living as common-law husband and wife, the first Mrs. also lived with the family. When the press started to gossip, Maxwell lied and said that they were indeed married, but his first wife's brother refuted this, pointing out that the first Mrs. was still alive. Eventually, the first Mrs. did die, but the family tried to keep the news quiet to lessen the impact of the rumors. Maxwell and Braden were officially wed and left town, giving the gossip time to dissipate before they could return.
Lou Gehrig may be known for his baseball prowess, with a career Grand Slam record that wasn't broken until 2015 by Alex Rodriguez, and most consecutive games played, which wasn't broken until 1995 by Cal Ripken Jr. But in high school and college, he also played football. Fortunately for history, he signed with the New York Yankees in 1923 and played until 1939 when his health declined due to ALS. On July 4, 1939, the team honored Gehrig. He addressed the fans. "For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad break. Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. I might have been given a bad break, but I have an awful lot to live for. Thank you." He passed away almost 2 years later on June 2, 1941.
When Jim Henson developed Fraggle Rock, his intention was to create a show that would transcend borders and stop wars. The concept is that 3 species, the Fraggles, Doozers, and Gorgs, are all connected, and although they are very different, they depend on each other. Although the basic idea was the same for each country, the framework was often personalized for many of the 90 countries where the show was broadcast, such as setting the portal of the Fraggles world in a French bakery or a British lighthouse. In 1989, Fraggle Rock broke into a market that no one would have ever expected, the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union's Gostel Radio received unprecedented ratings televising an episode of Fraggle Rock, it added Fraggle Rock and The Muppet Show to its schedule, making them the first Western television series to air on Soviet television.
The original precursor to the Little People launched by Fisher-Price in 1950 as a fire truck with attached firemen. Through the 50s, Fisher-Price continued releasing Little People hit toys like Superjet and Racing Rowboat, and finally Safety School Bus in 1959, including independent rather than attached figures. From that point forward, playsets continued to include independent figures, and in 1985, the name Little People was finally trademarked and given to the playsets. Little People were inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame in 2016.
Before MP3s, CDs, cassettes, or records, music was recorded on cylinders. Early cylinders were made of wax and would wear out after only a few plays. With this machine, users were able to shave off the remnants of the previous recording so that they could reuse the cylinder. The Ediphone would then be used to record dictation. Although popularity decreased, Ediphones continued to be used through the 1950s. Not bad for something developed in the 1880s. That ends today's tour through history. Please remember to put out your cigarettes in the ashtrays provided before entering the modern world. If you've enjoyed our little trip down memory lane, make sure to do all the usual YouTube stuff and then follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest.
I just can't stay single that song. 'Cause that heavenly tune sets me all afire. Keep on swaying, babe, by love time. Oh, hold me